Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Football Network. I'm Jim Miller. Well, what is going on with the Seattle Seahawks secondary? Let's go back 2 weeks ago when they almost lost to the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football because that was a fourth quarter game-winning drive by Matthew Stafford and the Lions. He hits Calvin Johnson on a crossing route, but thankfully Cam Chancellor punches the ball out and KJ Wright doesn't get caught for the bat out. That could have been a potential fourth quarter loss by the secondary. Then you look at last week. Their loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. 17 points the Seattle Seahawks gave up defensively versus Cincinnati and did lose that game. Now you look at this week's loss to the Carolina Panthers. 27-23, and again, 2 fourth quarter touchdowns on long drives given up by the Seattle defense and specifically the secondary. When you look at the play, here's how I'm going to call it. I used to call it 8 right gun, scat 72 seam, W shallow. You see the tight end, Greg Olsen there. He's got the seam route. He's 2 yards outside the hash. Z receiver, same on the backside. He's 2 yards outside the hash as he goes up the seam. Your W's got the shallow route, and the X occupies the cornerback to that side. And you listen to the Seattle Seahawks secondary, there's miscommunication. Half the defense is playing cover 3, and the other half is playing almost like a quarters. Because if you look at Richard Sherman, he drops straight to the sideline. I think he's expecting free safety Earl Thomas to cover the seam to that side. They don't get it communicated, and Cam Newton guts it to Greg Olsen over the top for the game-winning touchdown. And now when you look at the miscommunication, Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas are on record. They thought it was going to be a different coverage, and everybody else is running cover 3. But Richard Sherman was closest to the sideline and got the correct call. I think they were going to run some type of quarters or potentially a man coverage is what Seattle was trying to get to. They don't execute it correctly, and thus they lose another fourth quarter game to the Carolina Panthers. At some point in time, the Seattle Seahawks, they have not been right without Byron Maxwell. We know he got the big-time contract with the Philadelphia Eagles, and then they hope to get back Jeremy Lane. Pat Kerwin and I talked to Pete Carroll on SiriusXM NFL Radio in his weekly spot. Jeremy Lane will be coming off of PUP pretty quickly. That could potentially bolster the secondary because right now communication is an issue, and they are not firing on all cylinders. So they fall to 2-4 on the season and are trying to dig themselves out of the hole. It's nothing that can't be corrected. And when you look at it, communication issues, that's all it is. You got to shore up the communication from the sideline to the secondary that's on the field. We'll have to monitor it moving forward. Is this a new trend for the Seattle Seahawks? Are they going to get it corrected? I believe they will. For the Real Football Network, I'm Jim Miller. Thanks for joining us.